Hi, my name's Stuart Nicol and I'm the Head of Educational Design and Engagement here at the University of Edinburgh. In this presentation, colleagues from our online course production team are going to talk about the ways in which we make sure that our valuable media assets are made available to the wider community under open licences for reuse, resharing and repurposing. Part of our job as a central online course production team is to work with academic colleagues to develop open courses, sometimes called Massive Open Online Courses or MOOCs. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the launch of our first tranche of 6 MOOCs on the Coursera platform in 2013. Those were heady days when we could expect that tens of thousands of learners might sign up for the first run of one of our MOOCs. In the 10 years since, our MOOCs have reached over 4.5 million learners globally. We've designed and launched more than 100 courses, and we now work with 3 partners, including FutureLearn and edX. In 2019, we became the first European university to offer a MicroMasters in partnership with edX. We've always been conscious of an uneasy relationship between open education and MOOCs. MOOCs might sometimes provide a free route through course content, however, it's not always clear just how open the course materials really are, or whether they can be shared and reused. We became conscious early on of how locked our valuable learning materials were inside the MOOC platforms. In 2015, the University of Edinburgh set up an Open Educational Resources or OER service, and in 2016 we became one of the few institutions in the UK to adopt an OER policy. This formalised our approach to OERs and informed our online course production workflows, where we began consistently embedding appropriate licensing to our videos. Since then, we've become much more systematic about sharing our MOOC videos under Creative Commons licenses on our university's own Kaltura platform. The videos are all completely open and fully downloadable for editing and reuse. There has been some copyright and licensing debt to tidy from the early years of making MOOCs, and as well as ensuring that the reuse is built into our ongoing course production workflows, the team has spent the last couple of years, with the help of student interns, making sure that our archive of MOOC videos are made available to the world and shared with an open license. There are now 2,000 items and growing because it's baked into our processes. Our Open Media Bank and Open Media Stock footage channels are valuable resources that we make freely and openly available, and we invite you to make use of them. Now, let our online course production team share with you how and why we do it.
Hi, I'm Fiona Buckland and I manage the online course production service. The service is made up of a team of multidisciplinary professionals, including media producers, project managers, instructional designers and marketers, who provide end-to-end creation and delivery of short online courses. The process for this has been finessed over the years of working on massive open online courses, MOOCs, and has been developed to what it is today, being underpinned by an institutional commitment to open educational resources, OERs. From initial course idea discussions, we advise course teams of the OER policy so they begin to understand from the outset the importance of creating and using openly licensed teaching and support materials. The instructional design team ensure we have a clear course development process in line with ABC learning design methods to incorporate active learning opportunities. By working collaboratively with the course team during the production of a course, we can guide and support them to source a variety of OERs for their course. These can be drawn from a host of sources. It could be from our own open.ed site or sites such as TES Resources, OER Commons, OpenLearn Create or Pixabay. Where possible, the aim is to source, create and publish all course materials under open licence. We appreciate that not everything can be shared under open licence, and our workflows enable us to record in our course portfolio register any licensing limitations. Building courses which are openly licensed pays dividends as it enables academics to reuse the materials in traditional teaching and enables us to be proactive in responding to external situations. For example, in 2020, the team were able to repurpose teaching materials from the Master's Programme in Critical Care to create the course COVID-19 Critical Care, Understanding and Application on FutureLearn in just 2 weeks. By redistributing open licence resources such as demonstration videos and downloadable checklists, more than 50,000 learners across the world gained access to key healthcare information during the pandemic. Using openly licensed material has also enabled us to dual list our courses on more than one MOOC platform. Ensuring the course is open from the outset makes optimising your portfolio much simpler for all concerned. As already mentioned, we have our open.ed website, and our commitment to sharing our high-quality resources does not end when a course is live. We've adapted our workflow to ensure that all media created is added to our open media bank once a course is launched. From here, we can promote it to encourage the reuse and repurposing of the assets we've created. Alongside the Open Media Bank, we've openly licensed materials created by our team, such as our top 10 accessibility tips, student persona examples, and content writing cheat sheet. It's important to us that we practice what we preach. Finally, we've actually created 2 of our own MOOCs, How to Create an Online Course and How to Create Video for Online Courses. And we've made these available on Coursera and FutureLearn as a way to share our knowledge and expertise of creating courses and helping you make the most of the resources that you have.
The University of Edinburgh prides itself on being a leader in online learning, with over 4 million learners to date enrolled on our courses, and that number continues to rise.
We have grown our portfolio by working closely with teams across the university to promote innovative, inclusive and sustainable digital education. As instructional designers, we believe it is essential that any course team we work with understand the learning design process and the role we play in supporting them to create short online courses. This awareness enables us to work productively and collaboratively.
We help academic teams bring their course ideas to life by applying effective design principles. You can find learning design in lots of places, often without realising, and that's the point. Good learning design isn't obvious or contrived, it feels natural and organic. So what is learning design?
In its most concise form, learning design is both the experience of teaching and learning. It can help shape all forms of effective learning. It is a process that encompasses the thoughtful planning and development of a learner's journey, delivering it in some form, and finally reflecting and reviewing on the outcomes. This process is often a huge benefit to the educator because it gives them a unique opportunity to reflect on their teaching styles, why and how they will assess their learners, and the most engaging ways to present materials. It teaches us all about teaching.
In the online course production service, a team of instructional designers head up the content design, writing and production of all our short online courses. Our mission is to ensure that effective learning design is consistently at the core. From course idea to course launch, we work collaboratively with academic teams, project managers, media production, and marketing to create high-quality courses that are engaging, open, and accessible.
All our courses begin their life cycle in the form of an ABC Learning Design workshop. In this 90-minute interactive session, an instructional designer supports the course team in mapping out the learner journey using 6 learning types. Once the course design is signed off, we will work with the course team to develop their materials, including support with open resources, accessibility, and producing media. We also work closely to review and offer feedback. This phase of production is an iterative process requiring enthusiasm and input from both sides throughout.
We have a suite of tools to make this process as streamlined as possible, including content writing templates, the Educational Media Studio, and a robust review process. We are available throughout the content writing process to offer guidance and advice, and we will engage the course team throughout the course build to ensure they have an oversight of the final product.
As instructional designers, we seek the answer to the elusive question, what makes good learning? This answer is ever evolving, and it should be. With each new short online course, we are always growing and discovering new tools and ways of thinking. This reflective practice and commitment to engaged online learning is what any university colleague can expect when collaborating with our team.
My name is Geoff Fortescue, and I'm the Media Studio Manager for the online course production service. Creating open media has its challenges, but it isn't as difficult as you might think. Sometimes people can be skeptical about releasing their videos under a Creative Commons license, but everyone we've worked with has got on board once we've explained the benefits of being able to reuse the media in any of their teaching, and that it's not about giving away copyright, but enabling others to use the resource or elements of it in their own teaching. And also that anyone reusing it has to attribute the work and share it under the same Creative Commons license. A lot of the videos we produce are piece to cameras, like this one. And straight from the script writing stage, we're thinking about reuse. By avoiding references to topics covered in other parts of the course, we help the video to work as a standalone resource that can be easily reused. We don't include the week number or module name in the video title graphic for the same reason. These videos nearly always benefit from additional footage, graphics, or images to illustrate certain points or to make them more interesting and engaging. Sometimes the extra footage is very specific and we can get the required shots ourselves, often during the same recording session. This makes open licensing easy because we're the owners of the material. Often, however, the shots we need are more generic or could take a lot of time and effort to capture. This is where finding openly licensed stock footage comes in. This can be a challenge at first because you'll come across terms like royalty-free or copyright-free, which sound like they should be okay but generally aren't. Most stock footage will have a restrictive license attached to it, meaning you wouldn't be able to release your video under Creative Commons. A couple of good examples of open stock footage websites are Pexels and Pixabay, because everything on those sites are completely free to use. There are plenty of other sites, but often there is a mix of license types, so you'll have to be careful which assets you use. We always give an attribution to any stock footage we use, whether it's a requirement of the license or not. Embedding this information in the video credits makes it clear we've used it appropriately and means other people can find the original footage or check the license. Whenever we shoot anything that could be useful as stock footage, we add the clips to our Open Media stock footage channel on Media Hopper, as well as our Pexels account. The same rules apply to motion graphics and images. Something we've come up against a few times is when someone has commissioned motion graphics or animations for a previous project and wanted to use them again in a MOOC, only to find they don't have permission to use them for any other projects, let alone release them under Creative Commons. This is fairly standard practice for commercial companies, and you would need to be clear from the outset that you wish to release under Creative Commons or you're likely to run into problems later. We're often asked to incorporate slides from teaching presentations into videos, and while there are usually more creative ways of illustrating a point which we would prefer to utilize, a common issue is that a graph, chart or image has been used that wasn't created by the academic. This is generally okay for teaching materials in a classroom and would be referenced appropriately, but it can't be used in a video that will be publicly available and released under an open license. So an alternative solution has to be found, and that will be different in every situation. Finally, once we've created our media and published it on the course, it's added to the Open Media Bank channel on Media Hopper. Here you can find over 1,200 videos organised into course playlists, from breeding program modelling with AlphaSimR to chicken behaviour and welfare. These can be shared, downloaded and used in course materials, incorporated into new videos, or just watched to learn something new.
As a world leader in digital education, the university has a long-standing commitment to community outreach, knowledge exchange and widening access to high-quality online learning opportunities through massive open online courses, known as MOOCs, free short online courses, and open education resources, also known as OER. To fulfil this mission, the university has an OER policy approved by Education Committee and an OER service based in Information Services Group, which supports colleagues to use, create and publish OERs to enhance the quality of the student experience, diversify the provision of learning opportunities, and enrich our shared knowledge commons. The OER service works closely with the online course production service to embed open approaches in the course creation process, to ensure that the education materials created for our free short online courses are open, sustainable, reusable, and accessible to all. The OER service works with the online course production service, instructional designers and course teams to help source diverse and innovative open content, ensuring that where possible, all third-party content used in the creation of our course materials is in the public domain or has been shared under open licence. We also provide specialist advice on copyright, open licensing and attribution to minimise the risk of copyright infringement, along with guidance on choosing the right Creative Commons licence to share your course materials with the widest possible audience. Furthermore, it means that we can reuse these resources in different formats, on different platforms, and in different ways within the university. For example, video lectures originally created for the popular Fundamentals of Music Theory MOOC were successfully repurposed to create a new credit-bearing on-campus blended learning course for undergraduate students. Taught by Dr. Nikki Moran, this course has now run for 3 years and is an integral component of the Bachelor of Music degree programme. In 2020, the Student Experience Grant funded Open Textbooks for Access to Music Education project brought together staff and students from the Reed School of Music, the OER service, and library and university collections to co-create an open textbook from these resources. This open textbook was published on the university's new Edinburgh Diamond ebook service, where it has now been downloaded over 5,000 times. This project has also informed the redevelopment of the original MOOC course materials, and a second edition of the open textbook is now in development. With over 1,200 open licence videos, the Open Media Bank represents a significant contribution to the global commons and to teachers and learners the world over. Together with the online course production marketing team, the OER service helps to share this wealth of open content through our OER showcase on the OpenEd website and to promote it through our social media channels.
Hi, my name is Lorna Johnston-Smith, and I'm responsible for marketing the university's online learning portfolio, which includes short online courses, open educational resources, and online master's degrees. I'm going to focus today on how we give our open educational resources equal prominence to our short online courses. At the University of Edinburgh, we treat OERs as equal to courses. As you can see here, open educational resources are given as much prominence on our website as our short courses. Website users can filter by various aspects, for example, subject area, difficulty level, language and learning platform. The option to choose learning platform enables someone who is searching to view just the courses from that platform they like best, such as Coursera, edX or FutureLearn. But there is also the option to choose open educational resources as a platform. Some of these OERs were always intended to be open from the outset. They were never built as a course. But most of them on this website are MOOCs that have now become archived, and the learning material is now available as an open educational resource. Making a course into an OER is a great way to extend the life of the material beyond the length of the course. And if anyone's visiting our website, they can easily see what we offer in terms of OERs. On our website, we highlight the fact that it's an open resource, and much in the same way that we use the MOOC platform logos, we use the OER logo to make it easy for the user to spot that the resource they're looking at is an OER. So we treat them as a collection in themselves, and by branding them with this OER logo, it also helps users perceive the resources as seriously as they would a course. We like to promote our OERs on our social media channels too, just as we would for MOOCs. Here is an example from last year when we produced a series of tweets to celebrate the 20th birthday of Creative Commons. Our thread of tweets promoted some of our open resources, one at a time, to give them prominence. We might also jump on hashtags or events, such as International Day of Pets or #climate change, just as we would for our short courses. It's great being part of a department where openness is embedded into our processes. It's part of our everyday mindset, and we're actively encouraged to think about being open all the time. And treating open resources equal to courses results in a more accessible portfolio of learning materials, which can only be a good thing.
So looking to the future, we have a robust, ongoing institutional commitment to open education. Open educational practice is something that's now quite embedded across the university, thanks to the OER service, policy and ongoing work that we do to reuse and share content that we've already created. Lorna talked earlier about the Fundamentals of Music Theory course, and how that course has been flexibly repurposed to a number of contexts. And that, as a model, is something that we're building on for new courses that we create. It's worth noting again that our work with MOOCs is in partnership with external companies. Those companies have commercial interests and drivers that are outside of our control, and we're often reminded of this as ownership changes and priorities shift. Our commitment and understanding of open education and adherence to copyright and open licensing throughout the production process ensures that no matter what, we own our content and we commit to sharing it openly and freely. This isn't totally selfless. Our choice to make our content open helps us to manage the risk of working with multiple commercial partners. Increasingly, we dual-list our MOOCs on multiple platforms, helping us engage with wider communities of learners. That's something that our partners are very comfortable with, and it's something that's enabled by the open licensing approach that we take. It's also very useful for internal audiences. Increasingly, over the coming years, we intend to use those same strategically aligned, high-quality materials in our 4-credit courses. The university is undergoing a process of curriculum transformation, and our MOOCs deal with subjects relating to global challenges that are going to be hugely useful for our own students. So that's a whole wealth of stuff that we've already got that we don't need to redo and we can reuse internally. We're also thinking about platform strategy. We need to think about more nuanced approaches to the platforms in which we deliver our short courses. Not everything we want to share with external audiences is a MOOC. The massiveness is not always there, and we've experimented successfully with small private online courses, and some of our partners have helped deliver those. But that's something that we're reviewing. We're looking at the gap in our platform provision really for a short courses platform which would integrate with and operate alongside our MOOC portfolio. And again, the open licensing of content will allow us to easily reuse the content that we've spent a lot of time and money on between those different platforms. We're also looking at new forms of credentialing. We have already experimented with MicroMasters on edX. Now we're looking at a new digital badging platform, potentially for use across all of our short online course offerings. I think the hardest nut to crack will be the cost of higher education, the uncomfortable space between open education and 4-credit education. If nothing else, our commitment to open education and our continued engagement with open educational resources and all the different forms of teaching that lets us play with allows us to keep experimenting, and that's something we hope to focus on much more in the future.